From angle 58, we label opposite, hypotenuse. We are using O and H. Now I'm going to set up my equation. Sine of 58 equals O over H. I want to get x by itself, so we multiply by 11. Cancels out, and x equals 11 sine of 58. 11 sine of 58 equals 9.3. Label our sides, opposite, hypotenuse. We have a lot of sine on this one. Sine of our angle is equal to O over H. Get rid of the denominator. X equals 14 times sine of 41. 14 sine of 41 is equal to 9.2. So those were solving for sides. Now we're going to solve for angles. To solve for an angle, we do the same thing. We just set up our trig function. So I don't know the angle, but I can label the opposite. There's no hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent. We have O and A, which means we're using TOA. Therefore, tangent of some angle I do not know equals O over A. Now, to get the tangent to let go of the x and move over to the other side, we're going to use the inverse button. So to do this, I do second, then I push tangent. Whenever I see that -1 in the power, that means I'm solving for an angle. We use the inverse to solve for angles. So second tangent of 3 divided by 10, close parentheses, equals, I need to round it to degrees, so 16.6 rounds to 17 degrees. Problem 16, I label my sides opposite. There's no hypotenuse, there's no number there, so I leave it blank. And between the two angles is the adjacent side. We are using TOA. Tangent of some angle that I do not know equals O over A. I want these parentheses to let go of the x and move to the other side, so I do the inverse of tangent, and it goes to the 4 over 5. Second tangent, 4 divided by 5, equals 38.6 rounds to 39 degrees. There's no opposite, hypotenuse, between the angles is the adjacent. We are using cosine. Cosine of an angle I do not know is equal to A over H. To move the cosine over and to let go of the x, I am going to use the inverse so that now it's attached to the 20 over 39. Second cosine, 20 divided by 39, equals, this angle is 59 degrees. Opposite, hypotenuse. We are using so, sine of an angle I don't know equals O over H. To move the sine away from the X to let go, I use the inverse with a little -1 on it. Second, sine 19 divided by 59 is equal to 18.7, rounds up to 19 degrees. There is no opposite, hypotenuse, and between the angles is the adjacent side. We are using cosine. Cosine of an angle I don't know equals A over H. To move the cosine away from the X to let go and hold on to the 41, I have to use the inverse. Second, cosine 41 divided by 43 is equal to 17.5, rounds up to 18 degrees. I label, no opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. A and H mean we're using cosine. Cosine of an angle I don't know equals A over H. I want to get it to move over, so X equals the inverse of cosine, 48 over 52. Second, cosine 48 divided by 52 equals 22.6, rounds up to 20.